What is up, guys? Welcome to today's video. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful week so far. So today's video is actually going to be a combination of your guys' questions that you guys had asked me on Instagram. I had over 100 questions, which blows me away because my real estate Instagram only has, I think just now has over 3,000 followers on it. So to get that sort of engagement on my Instagram stories means a lot. I really appreciate it, and it's awesome to see you guys have so much interest in trying to learn about not only real estate, but just like investing in financials in general. So I was only able to answer about a handful of questions on my actual Instagram stories. So I wanted to make an entirely separate YouTube video going more in depth on answering your guys' questions. I basically took the most asked questions and just some questions that I think will benefit you guys the most, and I'm going to answer them in this video. So sit back, relax, enjoy. The first question: how much money did you have when you started investing in real estate? Because I was investing out of state. I lived in California at the time, and I was buying all my properties in Arizona. I needed to put 20% down on those properties because they were considered investment properties. But I highly suggest, if you guys are in the state that you guys want to invest in, the first property, you guys can use it as your primary residence, and there's a couple benefits to doing this. Is you don't have to have 20% down. There's a lot of people that think you need 20% down on a property. I'm actually just closed on a property with one of my clients and good friends who's putting less than 5% down on their property. So if you guys want to do a quick calculation of like median housing prices in your area and do that by 5%, that's essentially probably a little bit more because of closing costs. That's essentially what you need for a down payment. Now, technically, a primary residence, you're supposed to live in there. My suggestion is to live in there, but you can rent it out. You can rent it out by room. You could also change your mind right after you purchase the property. You were maybe planning on living there, but then you decided to rent it out, or after a year, you can technically move out and rent it out with no problems whatsoever. So that's a really good way to have a lower down payment on your property. To answer your question, I put down $48,000 on my first property with closing costs, with the loan origination fees, with buying down points on that, and just with the down payment. The amount I had saved when I was 25 years old, I had quite a bit more money than the down payment. So me coming up with 20% down payment wasn't the biggest problem. My biggest problem was my 2-year work history. Because I've been switching jobs so often, it was actually harder for me to qualify, way harder for me to qualify than it was for me to come up with a down payment. Now, oftentimes with my clients, it's the other way around, where they struggle to get a down payment, but they qualify for a good amount on their loan. So it just depends on your situation. It's a situational basis, but you guys at minimum probably need 3 to 5%, and there is down payment assistance programs in all over the United States. So if you guys are looking for even lower than 3%, I would type in Google down payment assistance in your state, whatever state that may be in, and you guys can even sometimes get away with 0% down payment on a property. So it doesn't require as much as you need. For my specific situation, I did have quite a bit saved up at the time, but that is the reason why I wish I had done this earlier. When I was 21 and 22, I would have had 4 more years of equity into that property, and it would have almost doubled in price to what it is now. So that answers the majority of your guys' questions. I got so many questions about how much money I had when I first bought a property. Did you have a cosigner when you are buying, or did you have a cosigner on your properties? This specific person asked on my first property, but I'm going to talk about it in general. If you guys have a parent or someone that is willing to cosign for you, and it is able to qualify you for a higher loan, and they trust you, you trust them, it's a good relationship, that's a very, very good approach to being able to purchase a property if you don't have maybe the work history or the down payment that you guys can do it on your own. So that could be a really good option if you guys have that available to you. My specific situations, I haven't had any cosigners. I don't think I'm going to have any cosigners for any of my properties. Now, someone had asked me, would I ever co-sign with like a business partner? Definitely not. I don't think so. On any of my buy and hold rental properties, I don't think I would ever like really partner up. That's just my specific perspective right now, just because I love partnering up for short-term flips when I'm only going to be holding it for 5 to 6 months, just because our mindsets are the same, where you're going to flip this property, you're going to get your money back. But if you're going into an LLC or a business, or like you're working with a partner on a long-term buy and hold property, who knows what your mindset's going to be in 5 years from now. What if they want to sell the property and you want to keep the property? It's just going to run into some problems there. So if you guys are to get a cosigner, I would make sure you guys are on the same have a contract written out. Make sure you guys are on the same page as well, or if it's just a parent helping you qualify, that's a very good approach as well. So yes, it could definitely help for you guys getting approved for your first loan. What's one thing you wish someone had told you when you first began real estate? It's not too early to start. So the first thing I would do if you guys are even somewhat curious about purchasing a property is go and type in mortgage brokers or lenders in your area and talk to them, guys. They're able to kind of give you an idea on if you can qualify, what you can qualify for, and if you can't quite qualify yet, a good lender will actually break down absolutely everything you need to do. Like they'll help you, like, oh, you need to improve your credit score, oh, you need another 6 months of work history. They want to work with you because down the road when you can qualify, you're going to get their business. So if you guys are just somewhat interested or on the fence about purchasing a property and not sure if you can, talk to a mortgage broker, talk to a lender in your area and see what they can do. So I wish someone just had told me that. Like in my head, I wish I had personally done a little bit more research as well when I was younger, but I didn't really watch a whole lot of YouTube videos, or I didn't really watch a whole lot of real estate YouTube videos with people telling me this, but it's not too early to start. If you guys have strong work history, you guys can pretty much start, once you're 18 years old, you guys can purchase your first property. My business partner, Ricky, purchased his at 20 or 21 years old. He worked at a telecommunications company working on commission, and he was able to qualify for his first property. That property now is worth double the price. I think he bought it for $150. That house is worth about $360,000 right now. So that just goes to show the type of appreciation you guys can have in hard assets like real estate. Do you think a crash is coming soon? So I think this is a very location-based. My answer is going to be very location-based. I think in the next 6 to 12 months, we are going to start to see different states be impacted differently. Right now, throughout the entire United States, we're seeing just a ton of appreciation. But I think in the next 6 to 12 months, different states are going to start separating themselves. Me personally, I think Arizona is extremely dominant in the real estate market right now. I don't think we're going to see a correction anytime soon. We may see a slow of growth. I think the growth that we're seeing right now is absolutely insane and unsustainable. We're going up almost 2% a month or 25% year over year, which just blows me away. So I do think we're going to see a slow of growth, but we have so much demand coming into Arizona right now that I think Arizona as a state specifically is not going to see a correction anytime soon. We're basically 3-to-1 on new builds, on new residences to new builds. So basically every 3 people that are moving to Arizona, we're only building 1 new house. So that just goes to show the amount of supply we have, the lack of supply we have, and the amount of demand we have here in Arizona. But then you go to states like New Jersey, which I know a lot of people are moving out of. A lot of people are moving out of California as well. I think those states may be impacted a little bit differently once interest rates start going back up. Once rates do start going back up, I think that's when we'll start to see the big changes in the real estate market. But right now we're extremely strong, and we're seeing the biggest down payments we've seen because people have the most money saved because of the pandemic, because they weren't spending money, because people are just changing their spending habits. We're seeing people with very strong finances being able to purchase properties and getting qualified for properties. So I don't think we're going to see a reflection of what we had in 08 where people were unable to afford properties. We're seeing people purchasing properties right now that are highly qualified with larger down payments than we've ever seen before. So I don't think that's going to be a reason why we see a crash either. So it's definitely a very different than what we had 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago, excuse me. So I think that's another reason you guys have to think about as well. We're just seeing people just want to get into properties, and I don't think that's going to slow down anytime soon. But like I said, every state will start to see it a little bit differently here. So yeah, if you guys are interested, I don't think it's too late. It really depends on the state you're looking in. I am in Arizona. If you guys are looking to purchase in Arizona, I have a couple clients closing this month as well. Kind of a personal question here. Sorry, my camera keeps overheating. Did you go to college and was it worth it? So I did not go to college. I began traveling I used to be a model full-time when I graduated high school. So I actually, when I was 18 years old, I basically went down to California, spent a couple months there. I lived in Miami, South Beach for a while. I lived in New York for a while. So basically right out of high school, I just started traveling, and I did a couple semesters in college. Definitely wasn't worth it for me personally. The way I see college is if you're not sure what you want to do, it could be a good option. But it's also, if you know for sure that college isn't for you, I don't think it's worth spending the money on it. Luckily for me, it was community college, so it wasn't that expensive. How long did it take for you to sell your first house flip? So our very first house flip we've ever done, I don't talk about it a whole lot on here. It was 2019. It took us 12 hours to sell that property. Basically, well, it took us 30 days because of the whole escrow process, but we had 5 over ask price offers on that first property the same day that we actually posted it. We posted it about mid-afternoon, and that night we had 5 different offers on it. And we ended up accepting an offer, $7,000 over ask price on it. All of our flips so far have been over the weekend, so we'll list it Thursday or Friday, and we'll have multiple offers that Sunday. So we haven't really had a property sit on the market over a weekend. Granted, it's because of the market that we're in. We're in Arizona. We're in the highest growth I've ever experienced in real estate right now. So yeah, we do have that on our side. Are all your rentals in Arizona? Yes, I have 2 rentals in Phoenix. I have 1 rental in Gilbert, which is down the street from where I live. And then I should be closing on my 4th one, which is down the street from where I live as well, just kind of the other way. So I should have hopefully 2 in Gilbert and 2 in Phoenix at the end of this month. And I may be turning that one into an Airbnb, so that'll be a whole story. I hope you guys are looking forward to that, and hopefully I close on this freaking property. How much money did you have saved when you graduated high school? I'm 27 now, so that was a long time ago. I don't remember exactly, but I don't want to say more than $15,000 I had in my bank account. I'm pretty sure, because I bought my car, it was 17 grand, and I put $7,000 of my own money in it, and I had like a couple grand left after that. So I want to say less than $15,000 is what I had when I graduated high school when I was 18 years old. I think that, yeah, to be safe, I think I had less than $15,000, probably closer to $10,000 to $12,000. And the final question, this is by far the most asked question, not on this one specifically, but just in general. I get a couple DMs a day about this, and that is how to get started flipping properties. And then another one is, what do I prefer personally, rental properties or flipping properties? And I feel like I can talk about this pretty evenly because I don't only own rentals, but I actually flip houses as well. So whenever someone asks me how to get started or how much money they need to start flipping houses, I always, just a rule of thumb is like, you need at least $60,000 to $70,000 to flip properties, even if you have a hard money lender, because oftentimes hard money lenders or private money aren't going to lend you the entire price of the project. So oftentimes they're going to require a down payment from you as collateral. So maybe they'll loan out 80% of the entire project or the entire property, and you're going to have to come up with 20% down payment. And if for some reason the project goes south, they're going to have that 20% equity from you in the property where they're going to use it as collateral. So not only you're going to need, most likely going to need a down payment for the house that you want to flip, but you're also going to have to fund the renovations yourself. Oftentimes this can be anywhere from most likely $20,000 to $80,000 in renovation costs on top of that down payment. So just a rule of thumb, it's obviously going to vary quite a bit, but like I always tell people at least probably $60,000 you're going to need to flip a property. And not only that, it's much higher risk. It requires much more knowledge of the overall real estate market and current market conditions. And it's almost like a full-time job. Like if someone wants to flip houses on the side, it's just so high risk. Not only you have to deal with contractors, you're most likely going to have to stay on top of all of them, but you're just going to need to know the market conditions. You're going to need to know what to sell it for, how much to sell it for, how much renovations you're going to have to put into it. You're going to have to keep a timeline, and you're going to have to connect and network with people to constantly stay on wholesalers' radars or go direct to seller if you're going to do that to lock up properties. So for me, flipping requires so much more time and a lot more money than rental properties and just much higher risk. You also get involved with capital gains taxes, so you're getting taxed a lot harder most of the time unless you're buying a rental property and selling it within 2 years. For those of you guys that don't know, there's a capital gains tax where if you own a property for less than 2 years, any profits you make on it, you get taxed as normal income. But if you hold that property for over 2 years, basically all the profit from that property up to $250,000 is non-taxable profit. So that's another good upside to rental properties, and you're also building long-term appreciation on it. Your tenants are paying down your mortgage, and you're getting cash flow if you do everything right on rental properties. Now, there is downsides to rental properties. Oftentimes, you're not getting a recoup on your money right away. Like, I haven't seen any, besides the cash flow I'm getting, I haven't seen any of my down payments back in my bank account since I purchased all these properties. So I do have a lot of my own personal money tied up into my rental properties, whereas the benefit to flipping is you only really have that money tied up for 2, 3, 4, sometimes 6 months into that property, and then you get it back in your bank account, and you can build capital better that way. Unless you plan on refinancing or doing a cash out refinance on your rental properties, you're most likely not going to get a recoup on that money for quite a long time. But you're also, all the benefits that I talked about, to me, kind of outweigh it. So if you guys have like a lump sum of money and you're just looking to kind of place your money somewhere, rental properties or just investment properties in general are an incredible place to do that. That's it, guys. I hope this video was able to help you guys out. If you guys could drop a like, I really do appreciate it. I'm going to try to do 2 videos a week from now on. I'm going to make this channel my focus. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Video suggestions down below, comments down below. I'll respond to everyone, and I will see you guys in the next one.